This is my Halloween 2025 build of a giant skull spider. It was self-supporting, stood about 12.5 feet tall, and was inspired by watching some AI-generated horror videos on YouTube. So I had an idea of a giant skull spider, and like most of my ideas, I had no idea of how I was going to do it. However, I did need a starting point. This is my starting point here. The frame that you see, the pentagon shape, which I shall call the platform, and a cardboard box, which went through various iterations of the design. At the time, I didn't have a lot of cardboard, so I had to be very resourceful. However, this is rectified later upon going to appliance stores and hardware stores and calling the local plumber for hot water heater boxes also. So this is the first design of the skull section, intact box with the structural supports. And there was flaps added to the side that were connected not just through all the duct tape, but also 550 cord with holes poked in it to keep it firmly attached. You can see in the right-hand photograph, the frame and the box were basically being designed around each other, one to fit for the other. My issue at the time was how to connect this box, keep this box on the platform. So the idea was to put in cross beams from smaller PVC pipe that I had. Here's the early work of the teeth, nose, and mouth section. Nothing fancy going on here, just prep work. Originally there was not going to be an actual mouth section, but more of a bare teeth that you would be looking at, where the teeth would be connected to the mouth portion there on the right, but not actual depth to it. They'd just be there for texture. Here's some early design of the teeth and mouth section along with the face and nose. As you can see, the teeth laying there, they would have been attached using spray foam underneath. On the face section, later on the forehead part that you see on top, and the flaps would be removed. Also, the nose section would be narrowed down because at some point it looked more like a mouth than a nose. I was lucky enough to get some more cardboard from the hardware store and a local furniture appliance store. I ended up making more teeth for the mouth and used a washing machine box to actually make a mouth. The mouth was cut out to fit underneath the platform directly. It would get tied on later. The main skull section would be on top. For the teeth, did the normal spray glue with the painter's drop cloth, and then use spray foam to connect everything together. Here's the completed mouth section. Duct tape was added to the back seam in order to prevent tearing when it was hanging from the platform. I also added small holes behind the top and bottom teeth in order to keep the jaws together. Ran paracord through that so they would hold together. Also, in keeping with the skull theme, drop cloth was spray glued to the bottom set of jaws to keep up with to make a chin type appearance. Here are the legs. Each leg section was about 5 feet long, which for a completed leg gave it about 9 feet of height. All the 45-degree angles would be cemented down because of last year's failed Cthulhu wings. The connections keep popping loose during the setup. The T intersections were duct taped down but should have been cemented, as during the winds on Halloween Day they kept trying to twist off. This is the leg and platform test run. Once on the platform, the legs would be spread out for stability and the platform would be lifted straight up. The legs will move in on their own and the grass helps keep them from moving around. The platform does need to be lifted more than halfway up for the self-supporting factor to kick in, because the perpendicular legs will help counteract the other movements of the other legs. Here are the leg wraps cut out and painted for texture. And on the right, we have each leg section would get mounted up to the workbench. Then the wrap would get draped over it and loops of tape would be added to hold everything together. Here are more of the leg sections getting worked on. After the wrap was put on the leg and taped down, spray glue would be applied to the insides and the two halves would be stuck together to keep everything neat and tidy. With the new load of cardboard, I was able to cut out a base section on which to build the skull section. It was cut to fit the shape of the PVC platform. The original box had the flaps and forehead sections removed and was cut down the back to widen it out. Another section was added to the back. Both of these sections were connected to the base with spray foam and paracord. The paracord is also used to tie the skull to the platform on Halloween Day. Additional sections were added to the inside for structural support, but they were just taped down with duct tape. These are the eye sections getting cut out and the ends connected. Right now it doesn't seem to make sense, but this was done due to the shape of the skull section and needing it to be flat once the covering was on. Here are the eye sections completed and ready. On the right is the skull with the eye sections taped on both on the front section and the outside tab sections. This does give it a bit of a steampunk goggle look. And as you can see, the nose section looks like a screaming mouth. Here's the big test run of the platform, legs, skull, and teeth. This was done to make sure no major construction issues were being missed. Painter's drop cloth was added front and back and then cut and spray glued into place. Extra cardboard was added to the nose section later and covered to narrow the opening and look less like a mouth. Loops of paracord were tied to the legs around the knees in case the skull spider needed to be weighted down, which it was. A very gusty Halloween day. The construction process was to connect the platform and the legs, then crossbeams would be taped to the platform section. Then the platform would be raised to the desired height and stabilized by pulling down on the bottom of the leg sections to dig them into the grass. The teeth were added to the bottom of the platform with paracord between the front teeth and the back at the seam. The skull section went on last and was tied down with the paracord used for its construction. This was, as Bob Ross would say, a happy accident. Extra cords were added to help hold that down. 235 pounds of dumbbells and kettlebells were used to hold it down and ended up tying the platform to the tree behind it, so make sure you have plenty of extra cords. We still stood right next to it due to the winds, else I'm sure it would have fallen. The giant skull spider was a fun project to work on, and I learned quite a bit. The neighbors and trick-or-treaters really enjoyed it, and I had to stop a few from going underneath it. We had a good Halloween this year and hope you did as well. Thanks.